Mr. Landry, you want to give us a code update? While he's getting that, I might tell you, our effort tonight was, this looks like a relatively long list of topics. Our effort is to keep it relatively short, keep our report short. The agenda is rather short, so we can do the closed session items and then sit down and review. That's
Good evening. I'm back from the long sabbatical, I guess. In the school for too long. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about junk vehicles tonight and how we, both in code and the police department, work together to combat this public nuisance. And I just got very few slides, more information than slides, but our city ordinance deals with it and calls it a public nuisance declared. Why do we deal with junk vehicles? Well, the reasons up there, because if you just boil all those down to what we call in police department, it's kind of like the broken windows theory. If you allow things to get out of hand, things to look run down, then it invites crime, it invites lots of other things. It creates fire hazards, it's detrimental to the economic welfare of the people that live there, the neighbors, so on and so forth. And the way the ordinance breaks down vehicles, and I want you to understand the process and the process that we have to go through in order to get a vehicle removed from a person's private property. The ordinance defines different things. If it's just a wrecked vehicle, everybody gets in a wreck, they tow their vehicle home while they're trying to figure out what they need to do with it. There's a certain amount of leeway that we give them from that standpoint. It's just a wrecked car. But if it becomes a public nuisance where it's sitting there and grass starts growing up in between the tires and things like that, it changes what that vehicle is classified as. Or a dismantled car. Let's say they're building a car and the engine's out of it. It's obviously not operable, but tires are missing or whatever. You see a variety of these throughout the neighborhood as code guys are driving around. Inoperable, obviously, is not. It's not usable. You can tell by that vehicle where it's sunk into the dirt. It hasn't been moved in months. And this one's already gone through the process and has been removed from that property. An antique auto, we get lots of information about this, or lots of questions about this, are you allowed to have an antique auto? Yes, you are. It's got to be, the way that the ordinance classifies it, it's got to be over 35 years old. If it's over 35 years and it's inoperable, doesn't mean that it can't become a junk vehicle, but there's certain things that you can do as an antique auto owner to keep it from being taken away from you through the junk vehicle process. Obviously, you can screen it from public right of way. It can't be seen from neighbor's house. It can't be seen from the public roadways. That means it has to be inside a building or inside the garage or within a fenced-in area. It can't be seen by anyone around. And then you got cars that are just completely discarded, left on the side of the road, or vehicles that are break down for whatever reason, and instead of taking care of it and getting rid of it, they just park it in the driveway, and we have to deal with it at some point. So these are the different types of vehicles that we deal with. Our ordinance also deals with aircraft. So if DFW Airport ever quits inspecting and registering their planes, we're going to go pull them off. Yeah. But it does deal with aircraft. It does deal with watercraft as well. The boats have to have registration up to date, both on the boat and on the trailer.
On this, a discard, let's say that's in front of somebody else's house and they just left it there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to go through the process of waiting 10 days or whatever if it's on somebody else's property? If it's in front of my house and that's in my
If it's
front
on the
yard,
public roadway, that's what the ordinance tells us we have to do.
well, he's involved.
He's
He's on the public road, right? He's on the sidewalk, he's on the grass.
He's on the public right of way.
So
Now,
I would have to have him, I
we
would have to
could-
let him sit there for 10 days.
No, we would come to you as a homeowner and say, you can have it removed, taken off of your property if it doesn't belong to you.
Okay.
Same thing with your store, your shopping center. There's a car that's left in your parking lot, and we come to you and say, this junk vehicle's been sitting here for, most of the time we get voluntary compliance,
Right.
where the business owner's like, yeah, I want to get rid of it. You, as the business owner, or the property owner, call and have a vehicle
maybe I did not understand what you said. That's not sitting on private property.
No, it's on the public right of way.
So how long does it take to
It's
do
a
that?
10-day period that we have to file for that, a 10-day period. It's different on public versus private. We can get rid of it in a 10-day period. However, I know where you're going. There's a 24-hour parking violation that totally deals with it a different way. And we can tow the vehicle within 24 hours if it hasn't moved. We would come out, we chalk the tires,
That is the point. You don't have to wait 10 days on that car.
from a junk vehicles, from the junk vehicle ordinance, it's dealt with in two different places. It's dealt with from a parking problem. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, yeah.
So our first deal is we go to the residents, and I think that's all the pictures. But we go to the residents and we try to get voluntary compliance. We explain to them the ordinance, explain to them what's going on, why the vehicle's in violation. We try to get voluntary compliance for them to remove it. While we're getting that voluntary compliance, we start the process. And it is a 30-day process that it takes to get a vehicle removed from private property. So we fill out the paperwork, we turn it in, and then our code guys continue to check on that vehicle. And we have time increments that we check on. We have to send notices to them. And we got to send not only notices to the property owner, we got to send notices to the registered owner of the vehicle. And we got to send both of those notices to them, wait for those returns to come back. And then at the end of that 30 days, we can file an order with the court, and we go before the court, our municipal court, with the order to get that vehicle demolished. And we can take that vehicle. Once we file that order with the court, then we have to go back and verify that it's still in violation and contact the homeowner or the resident, the property owner. We don't have to necessarily contact the registered owner of the vehicle. It has to be the property owner. Serve them with that notice, explain to them what we're doing. And then that vehicle has to be taken directly from that site to the crusher. We have a contract with a certain company that comes out, picks those up, takes them, and they have to demolish them. It can't be used for any, it can't be used as a motor vehicle any longer once that order is signed. So it's taken straight from there to the crusher. So it's a long process, but it's a process set in place so that we don't take someone's prime vehicle or an antique auto or something by mistake and crush it, because that's exactly what happens to it whenever it leaves our hands. We give an order to them to tell them to take it and crush it.
How many times does that happen where we've actually crushed it?
This year, we have actually taken all the way to the court process 61 vehicles
Really?
across the city. And then our code guys do everything up to the point where it goes to the process of towing the vehicle off and having it demolished. And then the police officers come in, and they're the actual people that actually serve the order and tow the vehicle from that. And we have to document everything where it's part of the condition, like pictures and complete a report, and then it's taken off. And then we have to report that information back to the state within 5 days of the time that we take the vehicle.
Is it fair to say that by the time you get down to actually towing it away to crush it, that there's just no objection, they don't care anymore or something?
Correct. Most of the time when you go and contact people, they're like, okay, yeah, I'll take care of it. And we give them time to do it right there and towing it somewhere else, pushing it in the garage or whatever. We still give them that opportunity at that point in time. We want voluntary compliance at the utmost. But a lot of times it takes an order holding in your hand saying, I'm fixing to take this car and get rid of it. You really understand what we need to do. And that's after all of that notifications that we do along with it. That's all I got.
Questions on that?